Hey friends, welcome to our podcast, to our channel. And today our second podcast with Shamush, founder of ASA Compliance Group. He and his company helped more than 3,500 people, Amazon sellers, with their accounts with compliance. And today we will talk about team because for every winner, for each company, you need a strong team that stands behind the success story. So today we will speak about teams, team and people, and manage this team with or can you tell us more about your team and what roles do you have in house, what people, and how do you manage them?
So that's a very important topic because it doesn't matter what kind of business you operate. Eventually, when you grow, you need to hire. Uh, Too soon, too late, but eventually it needs to happen if you want to grow. In our team, in our group, we have the compliance experts, the European compliance expert, the USA compliance team. We have the legal attorneys in the United States to deal with the legal cases. And then we have Amazon experts. So we try to cover in our group all types of issues that can, unfortunately, Amazon sellers can get suspended for. And then we try to take a look how we can give a broad umbrella to cover all types of different suspensions. So this is why we have the international regulatory experts, the legal professionals, and the Amazon Wise experts.
So how many people do you have in team, or they work like freelancers with you?
They are with our team. We will keep that confidential.
Okay. Okay, no problem. So my next question will be, what kind of background or skills are most important when you hiring for your team, if it's not a secret?
That's a good question. I tend to go towards uh, the creative skills, because when we deal with Amazon suspensions, a lot of time, I will correct myself. It's not a lot of times, it's always something that we don't know. Amazon is not telling us, say, look, you violated it, and the client usually even don't know the Amazon seller itself. So we need to investigate and be creative. So most of our work is actually of being sort of like detectives. Let's take a regulatory violation. If someone gets suspended as being classified as a medical product, we need to research his product, his listing, his content, Amazon's guidelines, and the regulations. Try to cross-reference everything and try to understand what resulted in the suspension. That's the first and most important part. If someone got suspended due to condition complaints, Amazon wise suspensions, we need to research about the customer complaints and try to understand what is behind it. And other than being the detective, it needs to have a lot of creative mind to try to sort of like pinpoint and connect all the different points. So the overall appeal and the overall strategy will make sense based on what we've concluded.
Mhm. And for your opinion, is it necessary to have Amazon experience with Amazon, like a seller, or no?
That's a good question, and I don't have a good answer for it. I tried even to hire people from Amazon, ex-Amazon employees who work with seller support and account health, and it didn't work out because I saw that they are too much focused on what they know and their internal policies and guidelines, which is not what we usually need because their guidelines is a mess. So we tried that and it didn't work out actually a few times. And I also tried hiring people without Amazon background at all, who came from compliance, and it went good, but they did have a learning curve because it's different. It's not strictly compliance wise, it's also Amazon compliance. So there were points to connect. So if we are talking about people who had zero knowledge about Amazon, they did have a learning curve. I did also hire someone from Amazon Merch, for example, who didn't know about Amazon Seller Central. Also had someone from Amazon KDP, the selling of the books. It's completely different platforms, and then it went smoother because the learning curve was better. And also an Amazon seller who we actually he just exited his business, he sold it, and then came to join us. And it went even greater. So I did see that having Amazon background hands-on, not Amazon employee, but actual hands-on Amazon background went well. But even if we looked at someone that didn't have Amazon background at all, he had a different perspective of things, which is a positive thing, which is something that can add up to the entire team. So there are ups and downs for everything, that every person that we are looking at, every role. Eventually, there is a higher learning curve, but it comes with its own positive things from the unique and outside perspectives.
Mhm. I'm surprised with your answer because I have clients whom I help to hire compliance manager to the team, and they
Mhm.
want and they sure that they need somebody with a strong Amazon experience. So you show us another side of this. It's very
Yeah,
interesting.
if you're looking for someone in-house that will manage your account health and compliance, definitely you need someone that knows Amazon,
Mhm.
because most of the issues that seller faces are Amazon issues, not legal issues, not regulatory issues, but Amazon issues. So do focus on that. But for our team, because we are taking a look at it at an holistic level and we are dealing with issues at a broad approach, we do need the legal and compliance experts and non-Amazon people. But at the end, when I am appealing at the cases and I'm submitting the cases, I do connect it to Amazon's sort of language, let's call it Amazon's process. So a lot of the work here also is the process itself, the frustrating process that uh, involves a suspension. So this is Amazon. So this is definitely you need someone who knows Amazon and has experience with the frustration of dealing with seller support. But the behind it, the person who is researching, for example, he doesn't have to be an Amazon expert, but then we connect it to Amazon.
Mhm. Okay, let's summarize. So, if no Amazon experience, so what skills or what experience, what background maybe should such people have?
So even if it doesn't have any specific background, I'm personally not looking for an expert in a specific field. I'm looking for someone who knows who has a lot of different let's say knows a little, a bit, a lot. Instead, knows a lot about little. So we can take a look at someone who is highly professional in the FDA, for example. That's great, but that's not our business. We don't do just FDA. We also do so many other regulatory issues, EPA, FTC, DEA, and so on. So this is why, and I won't be able to find one person who knows about all of these things. So instead of taking a look at someone who is highly professional only at the FDA, I am taking a look at someone who has an understanding about how regulations work and is hungry for learning and he has the ability to learn by himself, and then he can be an expert in all of these different regulatory bodies without being too much deep diving into one specific. So I will look for someone again, depending on the specific role. Let's compare it to something easier, to legal issues. There are patent attorneys, there are trademark attorneys, there are people who specialize in this specific niche, this specific legal issue. I prefer to take a look at a broad IP attorney who knows a little about each of these subjects, and then he can extend his knowledge about these things as we go. So this is basically who I'm looking at. So same thing as an Amazon seller. There can be so many different things to know about. Let's compare it to Amazon sellers themselves, not compliance-wise. PPC, logistics, finance. Let's not forget about this. Many people forget it's also a financial business, the SEO, and so on. He can be an expert in all of this if he's managing it on his own, but once he expands, he needs to bring someone professional just for PPC and just for this. So we prefer to take someone who is the Amazon seller, who knows a little about everything, and then to expand from there.
Mm-hmm. Because these people can see like a whole picture,
Exactly. Yes.
not only part of the business.
Uh, Definitely. That's exactly that. You said it very precisely in a very few words, because we look at the holistic picture. We don't look, okay, there was an FDA violation, there was a trademark violation. No. Okay, nice, there was a trademark violation, but what about Amazon's process here? That's the most significant thing that we need to deal with. Amazon, we are not in court. We are not in a legal battle. We are in an Amazon battle. So I need someone who has the broad, holistic view of things.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree with you. Because I have a lot of clients, for example, who afraid to hire people with background in Amazon, like sellers, or with their own businesses. But we have a good experience in our Amazon business when we hired, for example, our first team, and we had both people who came not from Amazon, and we taught them, and people who came from Amazon, and they were Amazon sellers in the past. And it's we saw a big difference in their work. They
Yeah,
because Amazon sellers think in another way, like entrepreneurs, and
yeah,
they
definitely.
can bring more value to business. So I agree with you, and it's not necessary. And you, my point to those of you who want to hire somebody and so think to hire with Amazon or non-Amazon experience like a seller. So you just need to understand motivation of these people and how can you keep them inside the company and what value they can bring to your business. That's all.
I agree.
Okay. My next question will be about what hardest part of work in compliance from your experience?
What's the most complex thing?
Com-
I will say the new things that are not regulated yet. I won't get into the technical terms here, but basically just to explain, if there is a new product, a new formulation of ingredients, a new food, new something, new anything. It can also be something that's not related even to food or supplements, just something completely new that is not regulated yet. No one knows. It's a brand new niche, new product, and no one has any knowledge about how to enforce or regulate it. What's permitted, what's prohibited, who knows? So there are legal guidelines here, it by itself is regulated. So the in the USA at least, there is a regulation on unregulated products. There are specific guidelines, but until someone, some regulator, some legal body, maybe Amazon even, will come and step in and decide what to do with the product, if it's prohibited or not, we are in a gray area. We are even in a no area. We have no idea what to do. So in here, it's a lot about, again, taking the creativity, because then we need to compare it to other products that we know and dealt with. There is just these days new toy game. I won't disclose the specific product, not to give away our clients' new product because it's an emerging niche, but we see that it will go towards some regulation, over regulation, and will be enforced and suspended because of a case we had 4 years ago. So these are complex issues because no one tells us what the product is. No one knows what the product is. It's a new product, new type of everything. But if we understand the underlying, the very basics of the product, not what it is, but what compound, what constitutes the thing, then we can compare it to previous things that we already know. So I would say that's the hardest, the non-yet regulated items.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay, I want to summarize for those people who want to join this profession, to be a compliance manager, maybe to join your team or maybe to join another team, to change their profession. So the most important skills, so they need to be creative, first of all. They need to be thinker out of the box. Am I correct? And what you
Definitely.
can add?
So if we're looking at someone with the holistic level approach, even if not actually, we need someone who knows the fine print, because eventually we need to read what the things that others don't read. These long and boring legal, I read and agree, you know that you always just confirm when you sign up to platforms, even to Amazon as a seller. I read and agree the policies. Okay, I need someone who will read these policies and understand them. So it tends to be boring sometimes. I will be honest, especially with the FDA, for example, if we are talking about compliance. So these are sometimes even things that are even difficult to understand and read, even for someone with a legal background, because it's a completely new language. If we are at the UK, for example, the regulator calls it limbs. First limb and second limb. Why? I don't know. I do know, but that's something that a new language that you need to learn. So I need someone, or a compliance person needs to be someone who is able to learn by himself, to read a lot and not skip it because it's a sub section. Section 16.3 B, Z, A, I don't know. So someone who needs to get down and drill down to the finest print and understand even the smallest things to find whatever might be in our favor.
Mhm. Thank you. And my last question will be, what recommendation can you give to Amazon sellers, Amazon owners, for example, who want to hire maybe not compliance manager, but regular account manager for small business, who need also
Yes.
to work with compliance? Because, for example, if this business has only a couple of products and they need time to time to solve some issues. So maybe what questions can they ask during interview, or maybe another recommendation from your side?
That's an interesting question. I don't think I would lean towards hiring a compliance manager, even not for bigger sellers, because even if you have 100 skills, you're not at the level yet that you need it in-house. It's only needed if you have complex products or highly regulated products, toys, supplements, baby products, things like that, apparel. These niches will require someone who is well familiar with compliance, and then I would lean towards hiring someone with that background. But otherwise, I would say that you need someone who knows account health, who knows seller support, who is able to stand their frustration and not give up, be very persistent, be very calm and very assertive. Because at the end, most of the day-to-day issues, not talking about suspensions, hopefully no one will face that, but that's the edge cases. Talking about the daily issues, this listing got restricted and Amazon is asking for a certificate. There are technical issues. Suddenly the buy box disappeared. The title, the variation got unmerged. Things like that. These are the day-to-day issues or technical issues. And so I would suggest to anyone who is hiring, even if it's your first VA or first employee, first person who is joining your company, have someone who is familiar with seller support, who understand that it's a frustrating game. There are no shortcuts, no magic wands and solutions. It's a frustrating process, but someone who will be persistent enough to walk through this process to resolve all those daily issues.
Okay, thank you very much for your answers. I think it was very useful, interesting information. Thanks for your time. And for our listeners, if you need to hire people or to need consultation about hiring people to your team, about team building, or maybe you want to start your career or you want to find new opportunities, job opportunities in e-commerce field. So welcome to send your questions to our email that you can see. You can find below this video. And also, if you need consultation about compliance, about restrictions, so welcome to send email, to write to their team, to his team, and I think Or can help you and provide wonderful consultation about your business. So we'll be in
Definitely.
touch. Thanks for your time and see you. Bye bye.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Bye bye.